This tutorial will demonstrate how sample information is imported into eLab using the import wizard. Often the manifests that accompany samples have inconsistencies that make importing them into a system time-consuming. The import wizard in eLab alleviates a lot of this burden by allowing data to be imported from different formats and by extensively checking for inconsistencies. In this manifest, we can note many unique features. Firstly, the customer has their own identifiers for samples and trays. Secondly, the volumes of the samples are in different units. And finally, there are spelling mistakes. The first thing to do before importing this data is to create a record for the group sending this data. If this group is already in the system, or if these are your own samples, then this step can be skipped. Open the group wizard and click Create a new group and set user and role memberships. Enter the name of the group and their contact details. As this group will not have direct access to eLab, the group type is set to Customer and Laboratory is deselected. As there are no records of individuals belonging to this group in the system, this screen can be skipped. However, if John Smith, for example, was also a member of this group, this could be specified at this stage. Confirm the details and complete the wizard. Open the Import wizard by opening the Materials tab and clicking on the Import button. Click Import. Notice that there is also an option to undo an import that may have failed, for example, because of a system error. See the user manual if you require this functionality. Select the file to import. The location of the data within the Excel file is automatically determined, but can be modified if need be. This screen is where the Excel column to database field mappings occur. You are presented with the database field names on the left and the mapping settings to the right. To set a mapping, first select its type, either value or column. Choose value if you want to specify it once for all data, or column if you want to map it to a column in the Excel file. First we set the owner of the sample to Acne Research for all rows. Then we set the column number location of the sample to column G of the Excel file. We continue until we have specified all the relevant information that we have. Note that some information has default values. For example, contamination is set to unknown. This may be changed to another value, such as no. Also notice that when we set the Excel column that contains the sample type information, the mappings column shows a validation error. The message says that not all the values from the Excel file can be mapped to known sample types in the database. When we click to edit these mappings, we see the spelling mistake we noted earlier. To correct this, we modify the Excel file, or we can simply make a mapping between the incorrect spelling and the actual database value. Notice again we get the validation icon when we set the Excel column for the volume unit. To fix this error, open the mapping window and make a mapping between the Excel values and the values in the database. To enter the customer's own identifiers, scroll down to External Identifiers and enter the details there. If there is more than one identifier, you can continue to scroll down and enter more. Once this information has been entered, it can be saved into a template and referred to again the next time you want to import a similar file. To do so, click on the Save Template button and enter a name for the template. In the future, you can click on the Load Template button to load these settings. Click Next to continue. And click Accept to confirm you are about to import data. First, the data will be validated against the data already in the database and against other database constraints. If validation is successful, the data will then be imported. The data is now being imported. After you close the wizard, the samples you just imported will appear in the sample search window. To find these samples again in the future, you can do a sample search and filter on this import from the Import drop-down list. To see the samples in Container View, click the Container View button. This is the end of this tutorial.